Hi, everyone. I'm John C. Morley, the host of the JMOR Tech Talk Show and Inspirations for Your Life. Hey everyone, it is John C. Morley here, and you are tuned into the JMOR Tech Talk Show. Glad to have you with us. We have another great show for you. This is July 21st, and really an amazing show. So let's get right into it. If you're new here, you can just grab your smartphone, go ahead and launch the camera app, point over the QR code like so. Touch the basically once you line it up, because sometimes depending on how you line up the box, you will not always get it, and then you have to just get in range. And once you do that, you'll get my link tree. If you're not watching us, but you're listening to us, then go to believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing creations, because there's certainly a lot of them. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we have, as I said to you, another amazing show. And when I say amazing show, I really mean amazing show, because there is so much happening, ladies and gentlemen, with technology that I definitely want to make sure you're aware of. So let's just dive right in, everyone. So we are on, ladies and gentlemen, the JMOR Tech Talk Show. We're on Series 2, second year, show 28. It is July 21st, 2023. Our first topic is Starlink internet satellite in Kenya shows radiation leak. What the heck is up with this? Well, you guys may or may not be familiar with the SpaceX Starlink satellite. Well, it's leaking so much radiation that it's hurting radio astronomy, according to what scientists have said not too long ago. And the Starlink satellites can disturb observation even of the telescopes protected by what we call the radio quiet zone. So this is really a problem. In fact, the hum from the onboard electronics that powers the SpaceX internet beaming Starlight satellites may disturb radio astronomy, as we said. And this is all because of studies that they recently conducted. And the experts have long warned how astronomy is being impacted by mega constellations of low Earth orbit satellites such as SpaceX, Starlink, and the Streak. So I think this is a message to us that, you know, when we launch satellites, we have to make sure that there's no interference. Whenever we use any type of equipment that broadcasts on the Earth, we always have to make sure we know what the interference level is, if it passes certain standards. My question is, what standards did this pass? So SpaceX has already launched well over 4,000 Starlink satellites. Wow. And this is according to the astrophysicist and the satellite tracker, Jonathan McDowell. And the company has a regulatory approval to deploy 12,000 of the broadband communication satellites and has filled quite a few and filed now for an approval to launch another 30,000. So my feeling is money is overriding this game. And if money's overriding this game, then we're not doing what's best for the people and, of course, for our great world that we live in, right? What about the ecosystem? And if you want to think about that, you know, I realize what I want to think about. It's called the ecosystem and satellites and the danger, I want to call it, because it's a problem. Satellite constellations could harm the environment. And this is no joke. So I think something needs to be done to make sure that the satellites are maybe broadcasting a certain spectrum, are more controlled, because this is messing up stuff, really. All right, let's jump on to something else. So Japan's largest port, Nagoya, shut down for a two day due to, ladies and gentlemen, yes, 2 days due to, guess what? You know what I'm going to say, don't you? Sure you do. Ransomware. I know. So, Japan's busiest shipping port recently resumed operation after a ransomware attack, preventing the port from receiving shipping containers for 2 days. Now, the hacking incident began earlier in the week when the computer system that handles shipping containers was knocked offline, according to a statement from the Nagoya Harbor Transportation Association. And the hack forced the port to stop handling shipping containers that came to the terminal by trailer, all per the association. And so this is the first reported ransomware attack on a Japanese port, and the incident has, quote unquote, created great concern over the impact on local economy and supply chain, including the auto industry. My question is, was this a coincidence? No. I believe they are trying to send a message to them. There is some, let's say it, angry activist group that is not happy with what they're doing. Now, not everyone loves China, okay, not to get into politics here, but there are groups that are not in love with China. And I feel that by this act happening, they're hoping to sting them, but maybe paralyze them, because you have to realize something. If this was to be successful and they could not do things, it could be a real problem. So we all know in 2017, malicious software allegedly was unleashed by the Russian military on the Ukraine spread around the world and disrupted operations of the shipping giant Maersk, costing the company an estimated $300 million. So Japanese critical infrastructure operators should drill more for cyber attacks on their supply chains and have a response plan in place, given the threats from both cyber criminals and state-backed hackers. So this is not just about hackers. Remember, states hack. I'm not going to go into who's hacking who, but the point is there are intentional hacks being conducted against these ports. I mean, that's really the name of the game right now. And if we don't understand that, then we got to wake up, because this is a serious, when I mean seriously, gentlemen, this is a serious, serious problem. Everybody thinks that it's just one hacker or it's just, some kid, but it's not about that. There are lots of different types of hacking groups, especially when it comes to ransomware. And it could have been a government group. Who knows? It could have been a group, as we know, some of them are very well funded, that wanted to send a message because of something they're doing. So if we had to think about this, if we had to ask this question, why was China's port a target for the ransomware? Why do you think? I don't know. This is, there's China, and then there's also the Japan, right? So why do you think Japan? I have to say the delay was meant to be intentional. And Japan's largest port stopping their operations had to cost quite a bit of money to some people. And right now, they're still trying to piece the story together. But remember, this blow accounts for approximately 10% of Japan's total trade volume, with 21 peers and 290 berths. That's pretty impressive, ladies and gentlemen. But major Japanese port, it was actually disrupted by Lockbit ransomware. And again, restoration of the port system, well, they worked very hard to get it back online. But my point is that there's going to be disruptions, ladies and gentlemen, all around the globe, especially now what's happening, people threatening, raising prices. Look what's happening to the car industry. We'll talk about that on another show. Cars are going for more money. They're not worth more money, but they're saying that they don't have. It's all this nonsense, if you ask me, to inflate the price. I mean, how do you take a car that was leasing for in the fives and now suddenly it's leasing in the sixes or the sevens? I mean, that's a huge, huge jump, ladies and gentlemen. And they blame it on COVID. They blame it on so many things. They just cry. But at the end of the day, the only one that they really need to blame is themselves. Because if they're not supplying a car that meets people's needs, that's a serious problem. And I think a lot of these car makers think that, well, people have to have a car, so they have to pay it. Well, that's a very bad attitude, and I'm not in favor of that. So whatever's happened here with Japan, it might happen with other ports, unfortunately. I think they need to be more aware of what is going on and not trust everything that's happening, right? I think that's the only thing I can tell you, because it's inevitable that more ports are going to be shut down and are going to be hacked. They feel that by doing this, this might help other suppliers. Could be. Maybe if they can't get supplies, then maybe they'll have to buy them somewhere else. Maybe they're just trying to hurt them financially. There's a lot of speculation. I'm not going to go into all that right now, but I just want you to be aware of kind of what's happening in this market. And, I feel that it's going to get worse, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, before it gets better. Yeah, I know. Sorry to say that, but it's what I feel. And my question is, why didn't they have proper protections in place? I bet you they didn't have any ransomware protection in place. I told you, most companies don't have a ransomware um, protection in place. They protect maybe against web filtering, antivirus, maybe malware. Of course, everybody's doing malware right now, but they're not doing ransomware. And it's because A, is it too much money? B, the CTO, chief technology officers and staff are not informed enough? Or is it C, because the chief financial officer says, oh, we're not spending the money? Okay, so you would rather get hit with a $300 million bill than pay an extra, I'm just going to use an arbitrary number, $10,000, $20,000. I mean, let's be smart about this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be smart. And I feel that it's not going to get better until it gets worse. That's the truth. And if we can appreciate that, then I know that going forward, ladies and gentlemen, people will hopefully have more protections in place. Now, I always said to you, it's not a question of if you're going to get attacked and hacked, but when, if you are not properly protected. You've heard me say that before, right? It's not a question of if, but when, if you're not properly protected. And by not being properly protected comes down to those things. It's knowledge, education. It's a cost factor, right? From the chief financial officer. But when a $300 million bill comes due, like to Maersk or other companies, something similar, I mean, nobody wants to really lose money, right, or pay money out. But then why is it that these companies don't have ransomware protection? I mean, that's really my question. Why didn't Japan have ransomware protection? It's a nightmare in Japan. And Japanese companies are basically avoiding paying ransomwares by relying on, the slow data recovery and dealing with corrupted networks. And there are a lot of cybersecurity issues in Japan. They're experiencing a spike in cybersecurity incidents and effects, including ransomware attacks, confidential information theft from APTs, advanced persistent threats, and supply chain vulnerabilities. So we know, ladies and gentlemen, that there's a very high probability, I mean, probably over 75%, that this was probably done by somebody that was trying to hurt their supply chain directly. So somebody that knows what they're doing, somebody that knows the kind of impact that would cause the company. And I feel that, these kinds of things are really, really bad. I mean, really bad. Because when we talk about, Lockbit ransomware, and if you want to ask, you might be asking, what is Lockbit ransomware as opposed to other ransomware? So it's a certain flavor. It's just one of the types. There's Lockbit, there's Clop, there's Black Cat, and so I think a lot of people think that ransomware is a joke. So Lockbit 3.0 ransomware, there's Lockbit, there's services and there's option, but Lockbit ransomware is just one of our flavors. And my biggest concern is that companies are not taking this seriously. Okay. Does that make sense to you? So why did Japan's ports get attacked by ransomware? I mean, that's really, I think, where we want to go. It's supply chain related, and somebody was trying to get an edge on them. And so, a lot of companies out there feel that, oh, we don't need to pay this. And so ransomware attacks happen to business when they fail to follow common cybersecurity frameworks. Good cybersecurity practices, choosing strong passwords, enforcing access management controls, all good stuff like that. But I know a lot of people I talk to, and they say, well, John, you're making us change the password. I'm like, yeah, I know. Or everything's two-factor. So by doing these things, it makes it almost impossible for somebody to get in. So could somebody get in with a two-factor? Not likely. Is it possible? It is. They'd have to do a lot of hacking, but we're talking in the very low percentages that could happen. And they'd have to have some information to the infrastructure. Now, this is the thing with AI. Can AI hack a two-factor authentication? What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Can it hack it? Well, hackers can use mirroring apps to see your texts, okay? But people ask this question, can two-factor authentication be hacked? The study says yes. Two-factor is the most secure method, but there are studies that say it's not as safe as it seems. Cyber attacks come in many forms. So this means that you need to have the two-factor, but you also need to have another method in place. So one of the technologies we use a biometric. We use the two-factor, but it uses two-factor and a code. And then, of course, having standard practices in place, like, if the account is attempted and login has failed more than 2 times or 3 times, the account is locked or put on 24-hour hold or whatever you decide to do. But we can't not do anything. I think that's the biggest message that I'm trying to share with everyone here today. Well, North Korean hackers breached a U.S. tech company to steal crypto. What the heck is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, it seems like these hacks are like, I don't know, they're out of control. They are out of control. And a North Korean government-backed hacking group penetrated an American IT management company and used it as a springboard to target cryptocurrency companies and cybersecurity experts. And this was just this past Thursday. And so the hackers broke into Louisville, Colorado, Jump Cloud in late June and used their access to the company's systems to target fewer than 5 of its clients, had said recently in a blog post. Now, Jump Cloud did not identify the customers affected, but cybersecurity firms, CrowdStrike Holdings, which is assisting Jump Cloud, and Alphabet owned, of course, Google, Mandiant, which is assisting one of Jump Cloud's clients, but both said the hackers involved were known to focus on cryptocurrency theft. So let's talk a little bit about that. So There are hackers out there that literally just want to put companies that mine or do anything with cryptocurrency or anything with a crypto wallet or blockchain. I mean, there's hackers that go that far. There's some that just do cryptocurrency and they want to put anybody that has cryptocurrency out of business and so that their assets are pretty much zero. The other thing that they go after is more specific targets, like more, I should say, more general targets like blockchain. Now, of course, you can target cryptocurrency for a lot of different industries, but they're just really trying to create a stance. And that stance is, where are we going? What are we doing? And if they create a confusion or show the American people or the world for that matter that this technology is flawed, then they're going to have less trust in it. That makes sense? I know you're probably saying, well, this is crazy, but it's the truth. And so these companies have a mission. They want to shut companies down that use cryptocurrency. That's their main goal. They want to shut companies down, ladies and gentlemen, that use cryptocurrency. And you might be saying to me, hey, John, why? So let's explore that for a moment without getting political. So why do people hate crypto? Well, it's a loaded question. So people hate crypto because crypto is annoying for a lot of people. You have to have, several passphrases. If you don't have them, then your data is gone. And by data, I mean your money. So if you lose those, I'll call them crypto password recovery keys, you're screwed. And there's no 1-800 number that can help you. So crypto to non-crypto people is like talking about fantasy football teams, which may be important to some people, but some people wouldn't give a jack about it. Now, there was a gentleman that was going to spend 10 grand back in 2011 on crypto. And luckily, he was talked out of it by his father. So he just got into it recently and says that he should have never done it. So the thing is, they want to appear that it's like this be all end all. People want to say that you can escape, the IRS and the government. And, they have all new laws in there right now. People are trying to open crypto accounts overseas and they're playing all these games, right? And so you might still be saying, hey, John, so will crypto ever stop? So the crypto crash of 2022, will crypto bounce or will it, die and go away forever? So according to crypto investment manager, Grayscale Investments, crypto's winter only began in June. And the average crypto winter lasts for, listen to this, ladies and gentlemen, according to him, 4 years, which means crypto may not recover until 2026. Crypto is still a new and relatively untested market, which makes it much higher risk than stocks. And now they've created a number of ways to use AI to gain access to hedge funds. Now, once we start linking crypto and AI, I just see this as a complete disaster. So, what's going on here with, the Chinese groups accused of hacking the US and others? Is this true? Probably. They're always trying to get up. We all know the NDAs, and not to get into that, they had the issues with hike vision and camera systems that had hidden microphones and had an app you could download so that anybody could get into it by just going online and download. I mean, this is a problem, and this is why they're banned in government agencies. They're banned in schools. They're banned in any facility that is run by public funding. If you actually do work for one of these public entities or publicly funded entities, either as a contractor or the company that you own, you can get in a lot of trouble because you're not allowed to install these types of devices in them. So they have something called an NDA list, and Hikvision, one of them, is on it. And you might be saying to me, John, what the heck does that mean? So the NDAA, the basically the government has banned some or all of Honeywell. They banned some or all of Hikvision, Dakua, Lorex, Swan, LTS, Anik, Layview, Interlogics, FLIR, Bosch, IC Realtime, QC, Panasonic, ADT. ADT is not made here in the United States. Indigo Vision, Monteview, and many, many more. So this ban, ladies and gentlemen, is put in place for your protection. You know those cameras you go buy at the big, let's say, superstore, or I'm not going to mention the name, but we all know them. They used to like have 2 to 3 letters in their names. One has a little bit larger one, and the thing is, it's a problem. And you might be saying to me, hey, John, so why would they ban? So the NDAA banned Hikvision and Dowa. They didn't give a full explanation, but I happen to know because I've worked with them. Hikvision devices were basically able to be hacked like easily. Anybody could just go there and pretty much, hack them by downloading a program that was so easy. And the thing is this, we're trying to promote open enterprise, right? But when we put trust in a company, I don't care if it's China, Japan, UK, it doesn't matter where they are, we have to know what vendors we can trust, okay? So it's called the NDAA's Video Surveillance Ban and Blacklist. And so Hikvision was blacklisted. Ajua was blacklisted. Hawaii was blacklisted. So there are no workarounds. Congress passed the NDAA ban, which is a section 889, and it prohibits certain telecommunication and video surveillance services or equipment. The section has 3 cores. The procurement ban, which bans federal procurement of covered equipment services, and that went into effect, by the way, August 2019. The blacklist clause, which bans federal agencies from doing business with those who use covered equipment services, went into effect of August 2020. The funding ban, which prohibits federal dollars from being spent on covered goods and services, went into effect in August 2020. And the core's recent is the fact that there are no workarounds. So they're doing this because, let's face it, they are getting the complaints. They're getting, the knowledge from different companies like us that install them. And so this is why they put this together, so that there is some type of control. Otherwise, it's kind of like the fear we all have with AI, right? I mean, AI is, and we'll get to that in a minute, but AI is definitely a problem. And with things happening, like I said, with China and now with North Korea, this is just a mess. And then now the Chinese accused of hacking the U.S. and others. So, this is a problem, and so is the North Korea breaching for the Bitcoin, all kinds of crypto. And you might be saying, John, are we, this is getting blown out of proportion? No, it's not. See, people think that Bitcoin and all these different Ethereum, all these different cryptos are like the bee's knees, but they don't realize the challenge. It's like when I wrote the article not too long ago about the AI teddy bear that's coming out, how this teddy bear could be the bear that actually gets your children kidnapped. The fact that it can have cameras in it, it has a microphone in it, and these devices can be turned on or off at any time by maybe a bad actor. And maybe not even that, the data could be hacked from the server that this is being put on. Remember, it's a toy company, but it becomes very serious because your information, it's in your home, and anything in your home now becomes public reign for this teddy bear. Maybe you're discussing something confidential. Maybe the bear is in the home of a FBI officer or a CIA officer, and they're talking about something very securely in a private room, and that teddy bear happens to be very close. That, my friends, is the problem that we're all worried about. Another interesting story, ladies and gentlemen. We've been talking a lot about AI, and there's still more to come. Well, OpenAI's head of trust and safety, Dave Willner, steps down. Ooh. And so the artificial intelligence giant nearly single-handed inserted the concept of generative AI into global public discourse with the launch of ChatGPT. Dave Willner, an industry veteran who was the startup head of the trust and safety, announced in a post on LinkedIn just recently that he has left his job and transitioned to an advisory role. He plans to spend more time with his young family, he said. He'd been in the role for a year and a half. Now, first of all, I don't think it's really the reason he's saying that he just wants to spend time with his family. I think he's afraid of getting his butt on the line in trouble. And so he's picking a very bad time to step down because now, we've got a lot of people that don't quite know what's going on. And the OpenAI's president, Greg Brockman, is due to appear at the White House along executives from Anthropic, Google, Inflection, Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon to endorse voluntarily commitments to pursue shared safety and transparency goals ahead of an AI executive order that's in the works. So my question is, I just don't trust them. And I know they're saying they're doing it for all of our best reasons, but I just don't know if these companies can be bought. I mean, it's not nice to say. I just don't trust them. I don't trust them. And until I see how this is going to transpire, I'm not going to trust them. I mean, that's basically it. I'm going to say they're guilty until proven innocent, right? So we're going to have to watch this, but the real question is, why did he step down? That's my question. What is the real reason what is the real reason that Willner steps down? And it's not to be with his family. I feel right now this is a bad time. I think he should have at least stayed on for a while. So I don't know what's going through his head, but I take it as the fact that he does not want to be considered accountable anymore. Maybe he feels this is too large of a project for him to manage. And that has me concerned too, because what if he's stepping down because the product's really not that safe right now? I believe it's not safe. I believe there should be a lot of safeguards. So that's just what I have to say about that. So we'll keep you abreast on that. Thousands of authors sign a letter urging AI makers to stop stealing books. Ooh. So, if you ask GPT-4 to do a passage in the style of something or a certain author, it will do an okay job. It will likely read all their works in the training process and now use their ingenuity for its own. And these authors are claiming that when ChatGPT does this, it's actually stealing the likeliness of the author's essence themselves. So I feel that, again, ladies and gentlemen, we have another problem on our hands. Another problem that AI is going to induce. Now, AI might solve some problems, but it's going to induce many. All right. We know that AI is going to cause problems into the threat world because now you can use AI by bad actors to be able to create viruses. I mean, this is just crazy. And I will tell you that AI is going to change the landscape that you and I know today. My concern is the safety of that landscape. That is the biggest concern that I have right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and our last topic for today is a LinkedIn breach exposes 92% of users and other small business tech news. So LinkedIn breach reportedly exposes data of 90% of users, including inferred salaries. So this is interesting because I want to talk about a personal experience. Now, LinkedIn has been hit again with a serious breach that exposed data of 700 million users, which, if proven true, would mean that 92% of the site's users would have their data compromised. Reports say the data breached and now available for sale on the dark web includes phone numbers, physical addresses, geolocation, inferred salaries, etc. LinkedIn, of course, denies it. Now, I will tell you this. I personally contacted LinkedIn, which, by the way, is owned by Microsoft, in case you didn't know. They kind of hide that fact. And so I had an issue. Of course, you don't deal with a U.S. person. You deal with somebody over another country. And I messaged them, opening a ticket. And once I did that, they said they'll check it out. They just closed my ticket in a week, and they didn't do anything. I said, I believe that, people are trying to harvest email accounts. So I got emails from people. And I said, I know it's coming from your platform. What are you going to do about it? I have to tell you that LinkedIn right now is not a trusted platform of integrity. I'm sorry to say that to you, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not. And I say this to you because I want you to understand that LinkedIn is not taking responsibility for its breach. You heard me say that, right? LinkedIn is not taking responsibility for its breach. They're even having problems with password breaches. So definitely use two-factor, ladies and gentlemen. That's a big thing. So I don't know why LinkedIn doesn't want to be accountable and responsible. I personally think someone else should buy LinkedIn. I don't think Microsoft should be owning LinkedIn. I don't think Microsoft deserves to own that company. I think it belongs to more of a company that is going to just be for businesses. Microsoft, in my opinion, tries to get their hands and their fingers on everything, but they don't always offer the greatest customer support. Those people in Amazon, Amazon's worse, but they don't offer support. They offer what I call wannabe support. And this is a serious, serious problem. A problem that most people would say, oh, I don't care about this. Well, maybe you don't care about it, but I care about my private data. And you might be saying, so what is LinkedIn doing about the security breach? Well, they basically feel, um, you know, that they're not really saying one way or another. So did LinkedIn have a breach? Well, in June, the data of more than 700 million LinkedIn users was posted for sale on the dark web. Hackers had scraped data that included full names, email addresses, usernames, phone numbers, social media accounts, and personal and professional experience. So I think what needs to happen, to be quite honest with you, is I think LinkedIn needs to be blocking their system so that it doesn't talk to APIs. Or how can I say this? So there are some good APIs like social media posting, but I think the systems that they're granting APIs need to be more scrutinized. So, for example, a system that is sending chat requests, I don't think that should be allowed. Okay. Posting on social media, that's fine. But again, it cannot be scraping. It cannot be sending personal messages. I can't tell you how many of those we get. Not every day, but I always say, hey, I don't talk to bots. And this might sound weird, but unfortunately, something needs to be done about LinkedIn security. I'm hoping that LinkedIn will get sold. And that's probably a good question. Will LinkedIn ever be sold? I think right now Microsoft is making a ton of money off of LinkedIn. Okay. And I think the problem is that they allow selling, okay, and they allow pitching. I think that is our biggest problem, ladies and gentlemen. They allow pitching. That's our issue right there. Hands down. That's our issue. So what do we have to do? We need to send a message to LinkedIn and say, hey, look, LinkedIn, you need to be regulating what and who connects. Now, there are some great social platforms that connect to it to allow you to post and stuff like that, but that's different than the automation systems that send these bot messages, right? They send them out. I haven't gotten any today, or I would read one to you. But these bot messages, they're terrible. And people are scanning to see what's going on. And when they scan to see what's going on, they believe that, you're going to talk to them. And they also, reach out and say, hey, how's this going? They have no clue. It's obvious that they're a bot. Okay, it's obvious. So I think LinkedIn should block bots, automate systems from sending messages, not posts, but messages. Because mostly people don't do a post. They do a message. And, or I get the one, hey, I checked at your profile, or LinkedIn recommended that we should connect. No, LinkedIn didn't recommend you to connect. In fact, it very rarely recommends. That's Facebook that recommends you to connect. LinkedIn doesn't recommend a connect. So I think we need to tighten automation. We need to audit it, and we need to make sure that it's being used in a manner that is not only socially acceptable, but is also business acceptable. Because I feel there's a lot of actors out there that have the potential of being bad because they're starting to abuse and lurk under the LinkedIn umbrella. Now, the trust and safety team at LinkedIn, with all due respect, they get back to you, but half the time they tell me, oh, I'm sorry, this wasn't the response you want to hear. They do absolutely nothing. I mean, nothing. So I have a big problem with that. And I don't know if it's ever going to change. But right now, I'm telling you, don't trust LinkedIn for private personal data. Don't. And if somebody comes to you and they want to connect with you, I always say, hey, how'd you hear about me? Or I'm glad you checked out my profile. What is it that made you want to connect? And of course, they go away because they're a bot. They're a bot. And if you block them and they get blocked 3 times with a certain period of time, their account gets put on hold. I think it's for 7 days or something. So I feel that there are some things in place. They're now restricting the number of posts you can make in groups over a week. So I don't know. I think they're blocking the wrong crap. The people that are trying to make a contribution and help the platform, myself as a creator, I can't post more than X times a week, even though I'm not selling anything. I'm just motivating people or giving them good content. They consider that spam. I think there's a problem with their business model. Oh, well. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it has been amazing being with you again today. This is July 21st, 2023, Friday. I hope you'll like, love, support the channel. Definitely comment below. Tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. Of course, click on the PayPal link at John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, and make the choice to buy my team a cup of coffee, a bowl of fruit, a scrumptious dessert plate. And we'll be so grateful for those pennies and dollars we'll invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software. even new facilities, to give you the most jaw-dropping motivational content to empower you to be an amazing version of yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in to JMOR Tech Talk. And if you'd like to be a guest on JMOR Tech Talk, then of course, you can visit our website, jmor.com. Apply to be a guest. We unfortunately don't get back to everyone. So we want to make sure that when you come on the show, it is not a sales presentation. I've had so many people come to our team and we find out they're trying to sell something. And we say, unfortunately, we're not a match. Have yourself, ladies and gentlemen, an amazing week. And I'm going to see you guys, you know when? Yes, the last Friday of July, July 20th. Have yourself a fantastic day and a great weekend. And check out BelievMeAchieve.com because two of my amazing new pieces of content just released. And you know what they are, don't you? Sure you do. So one of them is a great piece that I just put together. And this piece, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely amazing. Well, all of them are amazing. You know that. And so this one that I just released today, which is called Observe Your Life as a Third Party. Pretty cool. And the science one that I just released this morning, which is called Combining Pressure and Suction. And of course, there's another great article, releasing on Monday. I'm not going to tell you too much about it, but one of them has to deal with AI in the financial industry. So definitely check it out. I know you're going to love this great content. And of course, tell your friends. I'll see you guys another JMOR Tech Talk or another one of my amazing shows or pieces of content real soon. Take care and be well.